We did an episode about the movies of 1959, but didn't do a top 5 of 1959. What a bunch of silly gooses we were. I think we were afraid we wouldn't have enough movies, but we do, because we're good at movies. So, Jake, hit me with your top 5 of 1959.
All right. Well, first I'm going to hit you with an honorable mention. It's a movie that we covered on our podcast, and it's a movie I really enjoyed, The House on Haunted Hill. Good horror movie, lots of fun. Vincent Price, of course, always enjoyable to see in his, in his film form. I do enjoy that. Now, my 1959 list is a little interesting because 3 of the movies that I have on this list I actually don't have star ratings for, but I feel comfortable enough rating them where I rated them for various reasons, and I'll mention that briefly as I rank them. My number 5, I have Francois Truffaut's The 400 Blows, and the reason I have it at number 5 is because I haven't seen it in a long time, but I do remember thinking that it's very good, and it's a very important film in the French New Wave. It's, it was part of that whole, Godard and all those other, French directors coming over and making all these, or not coming over, but, making all these movies that made it to America and were very well received. Now, because of what happened with Blow Up, where I was like, oh yeah, I really liked Blow Up when I saw it. It just had been a long time since I'd seen it, and then I rewatched it. It's like, it's not great. That's why I have The 400 Blows at number 5, because it has been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm not sure what would happen if I did rewatch it at this point. But I think, just with its reputation and with its influence and everything that came off it, I think putting it at number 5 is a comfortable spot for it, and I'm okay with doing that.
I'll vouch for it.
You'll vouch?
Yeah, it's in my list. You're not going to feel about The 400 Blows like you did about Blow Up.
Oh, it is still good?
Yes, it's quite good.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad. Now I want to watch it again. Good, because it's been probably since college class on international film, and that's probably the last time I saw it. Good. Now I want to watch it. And my number 4 is a Disney classic, is Sleeping Beauty. I love Sleeping Beauty. It's a great one. Holds up. And my number 3 is a film called The Diary of Anne Frank, based on a very famous book that I'm sure we're all very well aware of. The film is also excellent. My number 2 is one of the best Hitchcock movies, North by Northwest. Just great action in this movie, great performances. It's just a great Hitchcock movie. And then my number 1 is, again, a movie I don't have a rating for on Letterboxd, but I've seen it many times, and I know it's great, and I know I laugh really hard every time I watch it. And it's Some Like It Hot, with Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, and Marilyn Monroe. A great movie. It's paced really well. The comedy is still pretty funny. The performances are really good. The closing line with Jack Lemmon on the boat, nobody's perfect. I mean, great closing line. I mean, it's a Billy Wilder classic. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm pretty comfortable keeping it at the number 1 spot on my list.
Okay, so our lists are really similar. Sorry, I'm boring. But before I get into my list, have you ever seen Anatomy of a Murder?
No, I don't believe I have.
Okay, neither have I. We should maybe do a 1959 redo, because there's a bunch of movies that came out this year that neither of us have seen. I'll give my top 5. First, a dishonorable mention. I'm always saying such nice things about Walter Matthau movies as they come up, but I have to talk about one of his worst movies that came out in 1959 that he directed. It was the only time he ever directed a movie. It's called Gangster Story. It looks like crap. It's boring. He's not good in it. It's very easy to find if you want to have like a so bad it's good kind of situation, but it's not so bad it's good. It's just bad. Anyway, it's Matthau. I have to mention it, but it's terrible. My number 5 is House on Haunted Hill. I like it for all the same reasons you do. It's a lot of fun. There's a vat of acid in it, which is awesome. Gotta love a movie with a vat of acid. Vincent Price is terrific. The plot is fun. It's just like a fun mystery thriller. It's like, categorized as a horror movie, but it's not horrifying. Maybe at the time it was a little scary. It's not. My number 4 is Some Like It Hot. I also think it's very funny. I don't like Tony Curtis as much as some people do. I find him a little grating, and I found him quite grating in this. But Jack Lemmon and Marilyn Monroe are both just terrific. And you mentioned that last line, that nobody's perfect line. And Joey Brown is just so unreal funny in this movie. So very easy to slot it in here. My number 3 is The 400 Blows. So there, I'm backing you up. I think it absolutely belongs. I watched this during the pandemic for the first time and only time. I think it's terrific. Francois Truffaut's story about a young boy who's just like having a real rough time. His mom is having the affair. She's just very, very absent mom, and he's angry all the time, and he does bad in class, and he does bad things. It's a very good movie. My number 2 is Sleeping Beauty. This movie looks like a Renaissance painting. I rated it pretty highly in my Disney rankings, and it ranks very highly here. It was a total departure from what Disney was doing, and they've really never since done anything like this. They kind of, with Wish, decided to like go in a different direction animation-wise, and I think with Wish, they really dropped the ball and made a clunker. And here, the story's interesting. The side characters are so funny. Merryweather remains one of the funniest characters in Disney animated history, and it looks amazing. It just looks like a painting come to life.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one is North by Northwest. Maybe my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie. It's funny because I think Cary Grant near the end of his career was looking pretty old and tired. And this is one of his last movies. And he's looking old and tired. And it just really works as like a movie that sort of takes the piss out of James Bond. You know, he's not a spy. He's mistaken for a spy. And then he has to do all the spy stuff. So he's not good at any of it. It's very, man, Hitchcock was on one with this. It's really great. It's one of Hitchcock's last big movies too. I mean, Psycho came out the next year, I think.
Yeah, Psycho came out the next year, yeah.
But this was like the beginning of his downturn. It's, you know, like through the 70s where he really sort of fell off until like Frenzy and then not much after that. This was like maybe the last great gasp, I think, for Hitchcock. Because I don't like Psycho as much as most because the ending's so bad, but nothing bad about North by Northwest. They show this in every film school, in every high school class when the substitute needs something to do for a reason. Yep. It's horrific.
Yep, agree.
Okay, so we got more of these coming at you. That was it for 1959.